Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it. You already know. Like a torta with some snack habits. Bye up. Bye up. We're going to get straight to the content. But before we do, we're going to get to the intro. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. Thank you. So, man, wow. I've been noticing lately, the last week, man, Dubs versus everybody. I mean, everyone's all on Dubs, right? And I've seen this before. Man. I remember a couple years ago, it was all on me, right? All eyes on me, like a Tupac song. Everybody was on me. And now it's Dub's turn. And that's the way the social media YouTube game works. That's why I tell people, if you want to get involved in YouTube, and people ask me all the time, hey, how do I start a channel? What do I say? What do I do? Look, you do and you say what you say. You act how you act. All I can tell you is stay consistent and stay humbled and stay real. Other than that, that's on you, man. Everyone's content varies. Everyone's been different places. Everyone's a different person, different attitude, different life, right? Now, when it comes to Dubs, I support him. I rock with him. He's more than just a YouTube content creator. He's a friend, right? So when I see a friend going through the motions or going through some shit, I'm like, wow, people just want to keep compiling shit. And most of the time, it's people that look just like you. I don't care about the prison stuff. Myself, Dubs, we tell prison stories. There's a lot of other channels that do that. I don't care about your standings. I don't care about how hardcore you were, what work you put in while you were locked up, if you put in any work at all. See, none of that matters. The past is the past. It's all about what you do today and what you're going to do tomorrow, right? Your experiences are your experiences. They're what make you. And they're also could be what break you, right? Now, when it comes to Dubs and myself, there's people that have personal issues, whether it be envy, jealousy, or just straight up they don't like you. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. That's not a problem, man. You can change the channel. Oh, that's what you got the remote for. We're not people that you have to sit down and watch if you don't agree, if there's something you don't like, if you got this itchy suspicion or feeling, then you just keep it pushing, man. Hey, all's good that ends good, right? But there's a lot of people that like controversy and they like drama. And anytime they see someone going through some drama or controversy and it's not directly affecting them, they want to participate. They want to run back and forth between channels, stirring the pot, disrespecting this. Hey, this guy said that when he didn't even know what was going on, or that guy said this, and to keep the fire going. Now, there's a channel that came out a while back. And this particular channel, has what is considered, and I don't even, it's hard. I got to tread lightly because I don't want to disrespect this man, because he hasn't said anything about me other than what he said about basically everybody, right? And I respect his get down. I understand where he comes from and who he is, but we're all men here. We are all men at the end of the day, all men in different positions in life. My life is out here. His life is incarcerated. I get it. I respect it. I've done it. The level of respect that he's attained or gained while incarcerated is due to, what he's been around and what his life brought him. But I will say that there was interviews that were conducted, and this guy had a lot to say about, certain YouTubers in the prison genre. Now, the prison genre is an enlightening genre, meaning it enlightens a lot of people that haven't been locked up. By no means is it supposed to be a snitching community. By no means is it supposed to be a platform or a genre that is utilized to help, to help CDC or to help cops or to help feds or help anybody. Of course, there are those content creators that say a little too much about active ongoing cases. There are even those certain ones that will tell you how to enter contraband into a facility and how they used to do it. They would talk about where they used to hide pieces and secrets that are not supposed to be sold nor told when it comes to the prison lifestyle, because there are still men that are going through that. Okay, I'm not one of those channels. Dubs definitely is not one of those channels. In fact, we refrain from a lot of stories we can tell and things we could do because of that reason and that reason only, for the word respect and respecting those individuals that are still incarcerated going through that struggle. Now, let me take myself, for instance, then we'll get back to Dubs. And I'm not trying to make it all about me, but this is pretty relevant, right? You know, when I first started on YouTube, I let everybody know right from the gate, look, this is where it is with me. This is where I stand. Okay, I chose to do that because I didn't want there to be any misconception or later on someone to bounce up and be like, I know that Vato. That Vato's not an active gang member. That Vato's not with the business. That Vato's a soca. That Vato's not fucking a gangster. He's not doing life in prison. He ain't fucking riding with, you know what I mean? So rather than go through all that, I chose to just be straight up and be like, look, man, I'm going to tell stories about my lifestyle. I'm going to tell stories about me back in the days, things I was involved in, you know, this, that, ins and outs, the cuts, never giving up way too much, right? But just enough within myself that, hey, if they lock me up for fucking some old school shit that they think I done, right? The names have been changed to protect the innocent. I'm always going to be good, right? Allegedly. The whole thing of that was I just wanted to be a little bit transparent, just tell people what was up. And, you know, I got a lot of love, but I got a lot of hate too. There's a lot of people, oh, man, this fool's a fucking this, that, but they stay watching, right? They're steady watching. And there's dudes that have converted for years. Man, Gun, I see what you're trying to do. Yeah, what I'm trying to do is make some money. That's what I'm trying to do, bro. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to feed my family. But even more so than that, man, it's just something I've chosen to do. It's how I'm riding, man, and I got to ride it out to the Honeycomb Hide It Out, right? I got to go all the way. Now, Dubs, I've been watching his channel for a long time. He gives a lot of game. And not game like snitching game or telling you something you don't know. What he does, man, is gives you a lot of education. Someone that's been around, especially for those that have been incarcerated, you could tell by the tone of his voice, his mannerisms, his style, the way he acts. Like, man, he's actually really been on those fucking yards. He's done that. So you can identify with it if you've been locked up. And you understand. And me having been around a lot of Southerners, Southsiders, dudes from down south, Southern California for years, it was kind of just like when I first found Dubs channel, like, man, that's a real Southerner right there. That's someone from now, and I don't mean it in a gangbanging sense. I just mean a Vato from Southern California. See, the raza from the South carry themselves a little bit different from the raza from the North. So I could talk to you for 5 minutes and know if you're from up North and down South. It's just straight up what it is, man. There's not no major differences like, oh, this guy's downer than that guy, or this guy's a killer, or this guy. There's none of that. It's just there's a difference in dialect. There's a difference in swag. There's a difference in that twang. There's a difference in, you know, geography. It's just what it is, man. And it doesn't mean someone's better than anyone else. It's just the truth. Now, with that being said, with the way that I proceeded, that hasn't stopped the haterism. That didn't stop the questioning. That didn't stop nothing. You either fuck with me or you don't. And with Dubs, it's pretty much the same thing. Now, let's get to Dubs' situation. You know, when Dubs first started YouTube, it wasn't about the gang stuff. It wasn't about him trying to prove his point in the gang lifestyle. It was just a man who's an ex-lifer who's telling you how he achieved from being in the darkest dungeons alone with a lot of hopelessness to where he's at now in life. That transition in life, man, to actually be free and to do something, man, is still probably mind-blowing to him. Imagine being in a dungeon for life. You're never getting out of prison and then getting a slim chance of opportunity and working your way towards that opportunity and then being given that opportunity. What are you going to do with it? You are going to bask in the ambience of freedom, right? You're going to be out. You're going to be good. That's what Dubs does every day. He projects that he's free, man. He's enjoying life. But a lot of people are bitter. They get upset. They get mad because they're not in that position, or even more so, they just don't like him because they seem to think that he's arrogant. You know, when I first watched Dubs, I thought, hey, maybe this Vato's a little too arrogant. But let me tell you something about the guys from the South Side, guys from Southern California. They are bred that way, homie. They are indoctrinated and schooled that way to have a little bit of arrogance, to think, man, that everything they say is righteous and real, and to know that every yard they hit, that's their yard, and they're going to function. That's what it is. You see that dude, Tommy Gunn, Sul Gang, Sul, he's very arrogant. You know, you see a lot of dudes. It's not that they're assholes or they're punks or this or that. It's just an arrogance that's instilled, you know, in their people. Okay, so the other day I see a content creator, a newer content creator, and you know, he decides to. He was asked a question, man. He was asked a question, and you got to look at the individual that's asking the question. And I'm gonna keep it real, man. This individual's from Texas. We've never had an issue personally. Never. He's never disrespected me as far as I know. Not to my face, at least, or not on the internet. And I've never disrespected him. Okay. And the reason being is I understand the difference between the state of Texas and California. I understand there's two different systems. That's why you don't see me rarely speak on the Texas system. I did a video the other day on Tango Blast, but I think everything I used was pretty much out there in the public. And I talked about interactions between my primo and whatever, right? But I've never, I'll never disrespect that state's politics or what they got going on because I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know fucking who's right, who's wrong, who's wrong, who's right, right? I do a lot of comparison, and I think everyone does because I can only tell you about where I was from. So my comparison, just like Dubs' comparison when we talk about the state of Texas and California, is we know how it was for us. I don't know how it was for you. Not to say this is hardcore, more crazier, but who gives a fuck, man? Who, you know, this is not a race for who got more bodies. This is not a race for who's cooler or tougher. This is not a race for who's more gangster. Okay, the evolution of gangs is going to continue no matter where you're at. So it is what it is. But this particular guy did a video the other day, man, and he interviewed a guy, you know, from allegedly from a prison organization in California, right? Allegedly. And within that conversation, they, Dub's name came up. And I was 99% sure when I heard the video that it was going to come up. And the reason was, you know, I know that this content creator has a, I wouldn't say a rivalry, but he has a distaste for Dubs for whatever reason. Him and Dubs didn't agree, or he did not agree with one of Dubs' videos on Texas. And ever since then, it's been kind of like, man, anything Dubs says, he's going to fucking go against the grain. I get it, man. There's some people you just put on YouTube and you just don't like from the way they look. You don't like the hairs on their chinny chin chin. You know what I do? I go to the next video, man. I ain't trying to hear what that motherfucker's talking about or see what he's saying because I don't agree with what he says. So why am I going to sit there and listen and get all fucking hurt and emotional to the point where I have to make a video about it? You know, that's kind of like with the Blue Devil situation. I don't dislike him. I think he's a stupid ass, but I think he's entertaining. So I'll entertain myself with it, right? But if there's someone I absolutely don't like, I never watch their videos at all. I'm never going to give them my one view. They ain't got that coming. I just don't fuck with them, right? So anyways, this guy kind of, while in questioning, Dub's name comes up, and it comes up side by side with Renegade Media. Now, there's no hate here for Renegade Media, man. I think by this time we all know his channel is what it is. He's going to speak on whatever he wants to speak on. He has the people convinced already. He's trying to help the children of the future. Treat them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty he possesses inside, right? But those that have been locked up, that know the hustle, understand that YouTube is just one big hustle. And everyone's trying to get their bread. Everyone's trying to get their money. Now, whether you put out rendered services, whether you put out good content, they watch it, they support you, they enjoy it, so you get your money that way, or you continue to spin a narrative that you're just trying to fucking be a fucking hero and the enforcer of gang stoppage and all that. And meanwhile, you're running your numbers up, right? So you're making money and you're never giving back to the community. You're never showing no love, right? Then people are going to have different feelings, mixed emotions about you. You know, when it comes to J-Hands, there's a lot of people out there say he says a little too much, to the point where, you know, it's been put out there several times by several different people that are still active or still in the gang lifestyle that dude just talks too much. You know, he gets information that like no one else can get. And, you know, and he boasts and brags about it, the people that he interacts with, the connections he has. And it's not hard, man. When I first started this YouTube shit, you guys wouldn't even understand how many people are in your DMs, how many people are feeding you stories, how many people, we're talking about CEOs, we're talking about everyone, how many people are ex-CEOs, not people that are actually in the fucking thing, but, you know, people that have lived that life that are feeding you information. Hey, I got to connect here, connect there. And most of the time, 99% of the time, I'm like, I'm good, man. You know, because I don't know how to wade through the bullshit, how to vet it to know if it's true. That's just another man telling me another story. I don't know if it's true or it's not. Just like people always say, ah, Gunner's lying. He's not telling the truth. Well, I don't know if you're telling the truth either. So how about that, right? I guess we'll all find out in the end. But we know with Renegade Media, he does get a lot of shit wrong, or he jumps the gun, or there's a lot of shit that's accurate. The fact is, there's dudes' lives that he's changing, and it's not for the good, okay? And I know there's a lot of people that are anti-gangs, and they watch them because they want people to suffer, and they want people for all the suffering they went through. And there's just a lot of people that want drama, okay? And at the end of the rainbow, man, there's only one person that's going to reap all the benefits, the rewards, and the drama, and that's J-Hands, right? Renegade Media. So when I see in that fucking video with the Texas guy and this other guy, the comparison of Dubs to him, man, I was flabbergasted. I was baffled. I was befuddled, right? And the reason I'm using those big words is this. There is no comparison. They're not nowhere. Their channels are nothing alike. Dubs talks about Wes Watson has a good time, man, and clowns and the Cali Muscle and shit. He's not talking about fucking organizations. He's not talking about how to enter contraband and who's doing this and who's doing that. Not even close, right? So I understand when the other guy, man, from the organization on the Texas show said, you know, he's considered snitch tubing and this and that. Yeah, there are dudes that do give up too much, man. Dubs is not one of them. I'll defend that. You know, I have interaction with him every day, man. We chop it up. And I know where he's at. We discuss a lot of the content we're going to do. That's why you got those people out there that are like, hey, man, Gun did something on that, or Dubs did something on that. You guys be copying each other. No, we don't copy each other. We have our own perspective on certain things that are happening. You know, why don't you have that same energy when there's 100 other motherfuckers talking about it? Why is it always Gunner and Dubs? You know why? Because Gunner and Dubs are going to get the most views on it. You want to know why? Because people enjoy our perspectives. They enjoy the laugh, the comedy that I give, and they enjoy what Dubs brings to them. Now, people didn't understand the other day I got asked a question because this has been going on for a few days. And again, respect for everyone involved, man. You know, I'm very surprised my name hasn't been mentioned more. There are some content creators that are fucking utilizing this, man, this rift or whatever, what this guy said about Dubs, and they're just running crazy with it. But 99% of those dudes that are doing it are in bad standings too. Look, bro, they don't fuck with you guys either. You know what I mean? They ain't fuck with you either, man. So you could take it and beat your chest and run with it. But you're like, oh, Dubs, you're this, you're that, SNY this, SNY. Bro, you were on SNY. Stop it. Just stop it already. You fucking bumped your head, right? Anyways, we're going to see how it all pans out in the end, man. I have a sneaky suspicion, man, there's more to meets the eye here. But I will say this, right? And this is the truth. I was asked the other day, hey, Gun, you're pretty quiet, man, during this situation. I see you on the live, man. Why aren't you quick to defend Dubs? And yeah, you know what? I've done that. And every time I do that, man, because I'm going to support my friends. I come from the old school era where you rock with them right or wrong, right? But I don't get this whole shit. I don't get this beef. I don't get this. You know, I went through it, so I get that part. But it's just like, man, motherfuckers are fucking with a solid dude, a good dude. I don't give a fuck about his status. I don't care what he was doing in prison. As long as he ain't got no weird charges, no funny shit like that, we're good, man. All that, oh, he had to tell on people. If you can produce paperwork or show where he's told on people, but people always talk about that, then that's a different question, right? It doesn't mean, you know, people could do that. It's just all word of mouth. It's all word of mouth. And of course, people don't like certain people. Look, this is how crazy the word active and non-active has over people, that they feel automatically, if you're not active, man, it could have been you got fucking injured, your back broke, you retired, whatever. You're just not active. Motherfuckers are quick to run. You piece of shit, you punk. But they do it over the internet. Okay? Look, cut and dry, there's two levels here. You're either active in the gang or you're not active in the gang. And either way, that doesn't change the fact that your trigger finger don't work. That doesn't change the fact that you won't pick up a pedazo. That don't change none of them facts. That don't change nothing, man. A killer's a killer, a hitter's a hitter, a man's a man. Yes, the gang lifestyle is not cut out for everyone. There's a lot of different things. Like I said, I've seen people, man, get smoked over not making their bed right. I've seen some people get politicked on because a dude wanted their old lady. I've seen some dudes get politicked on because they needed to. They needed it, right? They didn't understand or fucking learn their lesson after so many times of fucking up. Seen it all. Different situations. But that doesn't make one man bigger than the other. You know what's funny is this. Everyone will sit here and talk shit about Dubs this and Dubs that and Gun this and Gun that and certain other individuals, right? That go through the same shit. But then they'll run to Boxer Enrique's channel when he drops a video. And man, you're a real one. You really were in that life. You really did that. They're all enraptured with it. Okay? Without ever fucking tripping on what happened at the end there. That he doesn't deny testifying and putting people. There's no denial there. And still, a lot of these, it's crazy because I look at the comments. A lot of these dudes that are sitting there talking shit about Dubs or myself are in his comments praising him. Fuck you doing, man? It's just trip. I'm not throwing him under the bus. I'm just being real. It's crazy, you know. Me and Dubs are going to continue to do what we do, man. You know, sometimes I feel like it's my fault, man. Because prior to Dubs ever fucking with me, and he gets it a lot. Why you fucking with that Peseta? Why you fucking with that Buster? Why you fucking with that fucking Chapeta? I mean, I get it all, right? But prior to Dubs ever having contact with me, man, he was fine. Wasn't no one tripping, right? In fact, half these dudes were supporting him. You know? It's crazy. There ain't nothing you know now that you didn't know back then, but, you know, it just leads to that north-south shit. It leads to the hatred shit. It leads to the envy shit. It's all good, man. Dubs will survive. This shit ain't nothing, man. Someone talking a little bit of shit. They done forgot about fucking what was going on with Marvelous a couple weeks ago. Motherfucker done moved on from that. Hey, it's a short shelf life right here on YouTube, man. And what's really being said, that an active member from an organization said straight up, man, I don't, this is what's being said, or this is what it is about you, right? Well, of course, he's supposed to say that. That's his thing. There's active and there's non-active. There's retired. There's, you know, whatever situation Dubs is in is his story to tell, man, and not mine and not knowing, because I don't know nothing. All I know is this, man, he's a friend. I support him. Sometimes I feel a little bit guilty for the fact that he gets all this hate on YouTube, but you know, everyone's going to get this. This comes with the territory, man. So I ain't going to stop nothing. I'm going to rock with them regardless, man, no matter what. So with that being said, all these guys that are going to continue this narrative and talk shit, you ain't saying nothing that you weren't saying before, man. If you have an issue, you have an issue. Okay, but don't act like your shit don't stink, because everybody got shit that can be discovered, right? So let's just keep it real. No threats, no none of that, man. I'm going to keep it pushing, man. I support everybody. I've always said, man, support all the Raza channels, regardless if they like me or not. But at the same time, bro, when you catch strays or you know what I'm saying, you can't, it's called like battle rapping. To me, when the disrespect and all that, until it gets to the family and that gets upsetting, right? You know, but that's not, it's taken lightly. Other people have to get you there to go there. But to me, it's like freestyle battle rapping, man. We're all content creators. Everyone's trying to come for my #1 spot. And until then, man, everyone's going to keep talking their shit. You know, it's Dubs time right now. Motherfuckers are talking shit. You know, I've seen content creators that we've actually talked to on the phone. He's a brother, man. Leaving comments, leaving a post talking about, hey, Dubs this, should I go in on him? The same type of individuals that are like, man, you need to stay out of black business. It's a trip. This ain't black business. This ain't brown business. This is just business, right? And they ain't even really with the business. It's not even a big deal, because so someone said, man, I don't fuck with Dubs. That's good. No big deal. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people. And I forgot to say this. One dude was like, I lost my track of my mind, right? My point. The dude asked me the other day, hey, why are you being very quiet? Why are you leaving Dubs hanging out to dry? You're not backing his play. Listen, bro, Dubs is a grown man that can handle his business just like I had to handle mine. You know, hey, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. If I jump to his defense and be like, hey, that's my boy, man, what the fuck? Then people are like, oh, you're getting all involved, bro. This is that. If I don't, oh, man, you don't got your homeboys back. Look, you don't know what I do or what I don't do, man. One thing I will say for sure, man, I rock with my boy. It's not about the prison lifestyle anymore. We're not in prison. So I don't care about the active, non-active, this, that. I don't care about none of that at all, man. All I care about is what I'm going to eat for breakfast right now. Happy Cinco de Mayo, man. You know what it is. The gun.